In a grand chamber filled with shimmering lights and ornate decorations, the Galactic Council held a meeting. The council was made up of powerful leaders from various planets, each one more arrogant than the last. Today, they gathered to celebrate their recent victory over a small, insignificant planet called Lornak. They thought it was a great achievement, and they were eager to boast about it. "Another easy win," boomed Counselor Zarek, a tall alien with bright green skin. He slammed his fist on the table, causing the holographic images around them to flicker. "Those Lornakians didn't stand a chance against us." The room erupted in laughter. Counselor Tessa, a sharp-minded being with silver scales, chimed in. "Yes!" And they thought they could resist our might. How foolish. As they laughed, a human diplomat named Mark sat quietly at the edge of the table. He was there to represent Earth, but he felt like an outsider among these powerful beings. Mark had heard their jokes before, how they ridiculed humanity as weak and primitive. But today, something stirred inside him. He decided he could no longer stay silent. "Excuse me," Mark said, standing up. His voice shook slightly, but he held his ground. "I think it's time you take humans seriously. We may not have your advanced technology, but we are not as weak as you think." The council members turned to him, their laughter fading. They exchanged glances, surprised that a mere human dared to speak. Zarek raised an eyebrow, clearly amused. "Oh, what do you know, human? Your kind has failed time and again. Remember the time you tried to send a probe to Mars and lost contact?" Mark took a deep breath, remembering the many times humanity had struggled but ultimately triumphed. "Yes, we've had failures, but we've also explored our solar system, landed on the moon, and sent spacecraft beyond our galaxy. We have courage and creativity that can surprise you." The counselors burst into laughter again, shaking their heads. "Courage? Creativity? Those don't win wars," Tessa said, smirking. "You'll need more than that to survive in this universe." Mark's heart sank. He knew he was fighting an uphill battle, but he pressed on. It's not just about winning battles. It's about resilience. When faced with challenges, humans find ways to adapt and overcome. You've seen that in our history. The council members continued to mock him, but Mark's words lingered in the air. He could feel their skepticism turning into a hint of curiosity. Zarek leaned back in his chair, pondering Mark's point, even if he didn't want to show it. "Tell us, human," Zarek said, folding his arms. "If you're so clever, what would you do if faced with a real enemy? One that doesn't laugh at you?" Mark felt a glimmer of hope. "I would unite. Humans are strongest when we work together. We've fought against our own kind before. But when faced with a common threat, we set aside differences. We fight for each other." The council members exchanged skeptical looks. Their laughter had faded, replaced by a sense of unease. They had never seen a human speak with such confidence. But before they could respond, a loud alarm echoed through the chamber, interrupting their meeting. A holographic screen lit up, displaying a red warning symbol. The room fell silent as a robotic voice announced, "Warning! Unknown ships detected approaching galactic space." Panic spread across the council. Zarek's arrogance quickly turned into fear. "What is this? Are we under attack?" Mark seized the moment. "This is why you need to listen to us. We know how to face threats together." As the council scrambled to figure out what to do, Mark stood tall, determined to prove that humans had a role in this galaxy. In that moment, the laughter of the council felt distant. They had underestimated humanity, and soon they would face the consequences of their mockery. This was just the beginning. The council's arrogance was about to be challenged in ways they never expected, and Mark was ready to show them that humans were not to be laughed at. They were to be reckoned with. The alarm echoed throughout the Galactic Council chamber, its harsh sound cutting through the tension that had built up after Mark's bold speech. Council members jumped from their seats, eyes wide with shock. Holographic displays lit up, showing the rapidly approaching ships. Panic filled the room as they realized they were in real danger. "What do we do?" Counselor Tessa exclaimed, her voice rising in fear. "We cannot face an enemy we know nothing about!" Zarek, usually so confident, looked uncharacteristically worried. "Shut down all non-essential systems. Prepare for battle," he ordered, his voice shaky. As chaos unfolded, Mark felt a mix of fear and determination. He had warned them, but they hadn't listened. Now he had to act. "We need to find out who they are and what they want." "Panic won't help us," he shouted, trying to be heard above the noise. The council members turned to him, their expressions a mix of frustration and realization. They had dismissed him earlier, but now he seemed to be their only hope. "You're right," Zarek said, though his voice lacked its usual bravado. "But how do we communicate with them? We can't just send a message and hope for the best." Mark took a deep breath. "We can try using their frequencies. I've studied interstellar communication. If we send a message, we might be able to negotiate before it escalates into a fight." Counselor Tessa nodded slowly. "Fine, let's hear what you propose." Mark moved to a console, quickly typing commands to open a communication channel. He focused on a calm tone, hoping to convey a sense of urgency without provoking the unknown ships. "This is Mark, representing Earth and the Galactic Council. We seek to understand your intentions. Please respond." The room fell silent, everyone holding their breath, waiting for a reply. After what felt like an eternity, a holographic image flickered to life in the center of the chamber. An alien figure appeared, tall and imposing, with shimmering skin that changed colors like a living rainbow. "Who dares to communicate with us?" the alien demanded, its voice deep and resonant. The council members shifted uneasily, but Mark stood firm. "This is Mark from Earth. We represent the Galactic Council," he replied. "We wish to know your intentions. Are you here to harm us?" The alien studied him for a moment, its eyes narrowing. "Harm? We have no desire to harm, but we seek something you possess. You must prepare to pay the price for your past arrogance." Mark felt a chill run down his spine. "What do you want from us?" he asked, trying to keep his voice steady. The alien leaned closer, its gaze piercing. "You have mocked the stars and the beings that inhabit them. Your council laughs at what it does not understand. We have come to teach you a lesson." The council members looked at one another, their earlier bravado replaced by fear. They had thought themselves invincible, but now they faced a powerful force that challenged their superiority. Zarek stepped forward, attempting to regain control. "You cannot threaten us. We will defend ourselves," he shouted, though his voice lacked conviction. The alien simply chuckled, a sound that echoed ominously. "Defend? You think your ships can stand against ours? You have much to learn, but we are willing to offer you a chance to prove yourselves." Mark seized the opportunity. "What kind of chance?" he asked. "We are willing to negotiate." The alien paused, considering. "You will face us in a trial, a contest of skill and wit. If you win, we will leave in peace. If you lose, you will learn the true meaning of humility." Mark glanced at the council members who looked lost and afraid. "We accept your challenge," he said, trying to sound confident. "But we will not face you alone. We will stand together as allies, humans, and council members alike." The alien's expression softened slightly, as if it appreciated their bravery. "Very well. Prepare for the trial. You have until the next sunrise to gather your forces and your courage." With that, the alien's image vanished, leaving the council in stunned silence. Mark felt a mix of fear and determination. They had a chance, but only if they worked together. He turned to the council members, who looked shaken but ready to act. "Now is our moment," Mark said, his voice steady. "We need to prepare. We must use this time to strategize and show them what humanity is truly capable of." As the council began to discuss their plans, Mark felt a flicker of hope. They might have mocked him before, but now, perhaps, they would finally understand the strength of humanity. Together, they would face the unknown and prove that they were more than just a joke in the galaxy. As the first rays of dawn broke over the Galactic Council's home planet, a tense atmosphere filled the council chamber. The members were gathered, nerves buzzing with anticipation. They had only a few hours to prepare for the trial against the mysterious alien force that had threatened them. Mark stood at the center, trying to keep the council focused. "Remember, we need to work together," he urged. "We have to show them that we can be strong and clever." Counselor Zarek, still shaken from their earlier encounter, nodded. "But how can we win? They have technology we can't even begin to understand." Mark thought for a moment. "We may not have their tech, but we have our wits. Humans are resourceful. Let's use that to our advantage. We need to think outside the box." As the council members began brainstorming strategies, a sudden rumble shook the chamber. The walls vibrated and alarms blared once more. The holographic screens flickered to life, showing a dark shadow looming over the planet. "It's them!" Tessa shouted, her eyes wide with fear. "They've arrived!" Outside, the sky darkened as an enormous alien ship descended from the clouds. It was unlike anything the council had ever seen. The ship shimmered with colors that changed like a living creature, its surface glinting in the morning light. The sight was both beautiful and terrifying. Mark rushed to the console, his heart pounding. "We need to establish communication again. They might want to talk before the trial begins." Zarek and Tessa exchanged worried glances, but quickly moved to help him. As they prepared to send a message, the ship emitted a low, rumbling sound, which transformed into a voice that echoed through the chamber. "Council of the Galactic Alliance, we have come to witness your readiness for the trial. Show us your strength!" The voice was deep and powerful, resonating through the chamber like thunder. Mark felt a surge of adrenaline. "We accept your challenge," he shouted back, trying to sound confident despite the fear gnawing at him. "We are prepared to demonstrate our skills." The ship's exterior shimmered as it responded. "Very well. The trial will begin soon. Prepare yourselves." With that, the alien ship released a bright beam of light, illuminating the area around the council chamber. It was a signal, and it sent a chill through everyone present. The council members hurried to gather their resources and finalize their strategies. Outside, the council watched in awe as the alien ship transformed. Sections of it opened up, revealing smaller ships that detached and hovered above the ground. These vessels looked agile and deadly, each one capable of incredible speed and maneuverability. "They have an army," Zarek murmured, fear creeping into his voice. "How can we face them?" "We don't have to defeat them," Mark replied, trying to keep their spirits high. "We just need to win the trial. Let's focus on what we can control." The smaller ships formed a circle above the council chamber, their bright lights casting an eerie glow. As the last rays of sunlight faded, the council gathered their courage, ready to face whatever challenge lay ahead. Suddenly, the alien ship transmitted a holographic image of the alien leader. This being was larger than life, its skin shifting through a spectrum of colors that glowed in the dim light. "You will face our champions in a contest of skill," it announced. "Only through wit and bravery can you save your people from the consequences of your arrogance." Mark felt a weight settle on his shoulders. "We understand," he said, stepping forward. "We are ready to prove ourselves. We will show you that humanity is not to be underestimated." The alien leader nodded, its expression inscrutable. "Then let the trial begin. You have 1 hour to prepare your teams and strategies. We will meet on the field of competition." As the image faded, the council erupted in discussions, debating tactics and forming teams. Mark could see the determination rising in their eyes, and he felt a surge of hope. They were no longer just a group of powerful beings. They were united in a common cause. "Let's show them what we're made of," Mark said, his voice steady. "Together we will prove that we can stand against any challenge." With that, the council members set to work, determination fueling their actions. As they prepared for the trial, Mark felt the weight of their history and the potential of their future. This was their moment to shine, to rise above the ridicule they had faced, and to show the galaxy that humanity, when united, could accomplish the impossible. As the council prepared for the trial, a palpable sense of tension filled the air. The members gathered in a vast arena that had been set up outside the council chamber, its grand scale designed to showcase the skills of both humans and aliens. Mark stood with the counselors, his heart racing with anticipation. "This is it," he said, looking at each council member. "We must show them our best. Remember, it's not just about strength, it's about strategy and teamwork." Zarek nodded, his earlier bravado returning. "We can do this. We have trained hard for this moment." Suddenly, the atmosphere shifted. The alien ships hovered above, casting long shadows over the arena. The alien leader's voice boomed through the speakers. "Welcome to the trial. Prepare yourselves for the first challenge, a contest of agility and speed." Mark exchanged worried glances with the council members. Agility and speed were not their strengths compared to the alien ships. "We need to think strategically," he whispered. "Let's use our environment to our advantage." As the alien ships descended, a series of holographic targets appeared around the arena, each glowing with bright colors. "Your task is to hit the targets as quickly as possible," the alien leader explained. "The team with the most points wins this round." With a nod from Mark, the counselors spread out, taking their positions. The countdown began and tension filled the air. As the timer started, Mark focused, taking deep breaths to calm himself. The aliens took off in a blur, darting around the arena with incredible speed. They shot beams of energy at the targets, hitting them with precision. The council members followed suit, using their own skills to aim at the targets. But the aliens seemed unbeatable. "Focus on the patterns," Mark shouted. Don't just shoot randomly. Wait for the right moment. Zarek, who had been struggling, suddenly spotted a gap in the aliens' attacks. He took a deep breath, steadied his aim, and fired. The beam struck a target right in the center. Cheers erupted from the other council members, who quickly followed his lead. As the contest progressed, the council began to work together. They communicated and strategized, helping one another to aim at the targets. Mark noticed how their confidence grew with each successful hit. They were starting to find their rhythm. "Keep it up!" Mark encouraged. "We're doing great." But just as the council gained momentum, the alien leader's voice boomed again. "Time is running out! Prepare for the next challenge." Before they could catch their breath, the arena transformed. The ground beneath them shifted, creating a series of obstacles, walls, pits, and barriers that appeared from thin air. "This is a test of strength and teamwork," the alien leader announced. "Only those who work together will succeed." Mark felt a surge of determination. "This is what we've been training for. Let's show them how we can overcome obstacles together." The council quickly regrouped. They faced the first wall, towering and daunting. "We need to lift each other up," Mark suggested. "Zarek, you go first. We'll help you over the wall." Zarek nodded, his resolve firm. With the help of two counselors, he climbed over the wall, reaching down to pull them up one by one. They cheered as each member made it over, their spirits rising with every success. The next obstacle was a series of pits. "We can jump over, but we need to time it right," Tessa called out. The council practiced their jumps, coordinating their movements. They leaped across the pits, cheering as they all made it safely to the other side. As they continued through the obstacles, they laughed and encouraged one another. Mark felt a wave of pride wash over him. They were no longer just individual leaders, they had become a united team, working together seamlessly. Finally, as they approached the last barrier, they could see the alien ships hovering above, watching closely. Mark turned to his fellow counselors. "We can't give up now! Let's finish strong!" With a final push, they helped each other over the last obstacle, crossing the finish line together. Exhausted but exhilarated, they cheered in victory. The alien leader appeared again, this time with an impressed expression. "You have shown resilience and teamwork. This round belongs to you," Mark beamed with pride. They had faced the threat and emerged stronger than ever. This victory was just the beginning. They had proven that together, they could accomplish anything. The trial was far from over, but for the first time the council felt truly united. They were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The atmosphere in the arena was electric after the council's surprising victory. The cheers of the council members echoed around them, a sound of triumph that resonated deep in their hearts. They had faced the aliens and shown their strength, but more importantly, they had worked together. Mark felt a surge of hope for the future. The alien leader's holographic image appeared once more, its colors shimmering as it addressed the crowd. "You have impressed us with your skills and unity," it announced, its voice deep and resonant. "But the trial is not over yet. We still have one final challenge to face." Mark exchanged glances with his fellow counselors. Excitement and anxiety mingled in the air. "What will it be?" he wondered aloud. The alien leader continued. "The final challenge will test your ability to think strategically under pressure. You must solve a puzzle that will require both your minds and your teamwork. If you succeed, we will discuss a new alliance." The mention of an alliance sent a ripple of excitement through the council. This was their chance to turn a conflict into cooperation. "We can do this," Mark said, his voice firm. "Let's focus and show them our best." As the arena transformed again, holographic images appeared, displaying a complex puzzle made up of glowing shapes and symbols. "You have 10 minutes to solve the puzzle," the alien leader declared. "Failure means you will have to reconsider your place in the galaxy." Mark felt a knot of tension in his stomach. "All right, everyone, let's break it down. We need to work together and communicate clearly." The council members gathered around the puzzle, their eyes scanning the shapes. Mark quickly realized that the colors and symbols seemed to correspond to different elements of their own history. "Look," he exclaimed, "these symbols represent our planets and resources. If we can figure out the connections, we might find the solution." Tessa, always quick on her feet, began to piece together the shapes. "We should focus on the ones that connect to Earth first. They might hold the key." As they worked, the alien ships hovered above, their presence a constant reminder of the stakes. Mark could see the alien leader observing them closely, its expression unreadable. They had to succeed. With only 5 minutes left, the council was still struggling to connect the symbols. Tension rose as they felt the pressure of time ticking away. Zarek shouted, "What if we group the symbols by color first? Maybe it will reveal the connections." Mark nodded, encouraged by the idea. Great thought. "Let's do it!" They quickly rearranged the symbols by color, and as they worked, a pattern began to emerge. Mark's heart raced as he spotted a familiar sequence. "I think I see it." The colors match the elements of our alliance. If we place them in this order, it should unlock the next stage. With renewed determination, the council members worked in unison, rearranging the symbols as Mark directed. The final seconds ticked down, and just as the timer buzzed, they placed the last piece in place. A bright light engulfed the puzzle, illuminating the arena. The symbols merged into a single glowing shape, and the council members stood back, breathless. The alien leader's voice boomed once again. "You have succeeded. Your unity and intelligence have proven your worth." The council erupted in cheers, relief, and joy flooding their hearts. Mark felt a wave of pride wash over him. They had come so far, facing the unknown and emerging stronger. The alien leader continued, "Because of your impressive performance, we are willing to discuss a new alliance. Together we can share knowledge and technology, ensuring peace across the galaxy." Mark stepped forward, excitement bubbling within him. "We accept your offer. This alliance will strengthen both our civilizations. Together we can face any challenge that comes our way." As the alien leader nodded, a new understanding blossomed between them. The council members felt a sense of purpose as they realized they had moved from fear to friendship, from conflict to collaboration. The arena was filled with cheers, not just from the council but from the aliens as well. They had turned a potential war into an alliance, showing the galaxy that even the most different beings could find common ground. As they celebrated, Mark felt a sense of hope for the future. This new alliance would not only change their lives but could also impact countless others in the galaxy. Together, they would explore the stars, share knowledge, and create a brighter future for all. The journey was just beginning, and Mark knew that they were ready for whatever lay ahead.